Barron William Trump is the youngest child of President Donald Trump and the only child of First Lady Melania Trump. Born on March 20, 2006, in Manhattan, he grew up largely out of the public eye compared to his older half-siblings, thanks in part to Melania Trump's well-documented insistence on shielding him from media attention during his childhood years. That protective approach shaped nearly every major decision about his upbringing, from the schools he attended to how rarely he appeared at public events. But in the years since he turned 18, verifiable details about his life have become far more public, not because of any dramatic personal confession, but because of milestones that are simply part of the public record. College enrollment, a presidential inauguration, and a fast-growing business career. Baptized 2 months after his birth at Bethesda-by-the-Sea Episcopal Church in Palm Beach, Florida, Barron spent his early childhood in Trump Tower in Manhattan. His education began at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, a well-regarded private school in the city. When his father was elected the 45th president in 2016 and the family relocated to Washington, D.C., Barron enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland, breaking from the tradition of presidential children attending Sidwell Friends School. After the family moved to Florida, he continued his education at Oxbridge Academy, a private college preparatory school in West Palm Beach, from which he graduated in 2024. Throughout this period, Melania Trump has spoken publicly about being closely involved in her son's day-to-day upbringing, including choosing not to hire a nanny. She has also discussed raising him bilingually, teaching him Slovenian, her native language, alongside English, and he has been described as also having studied French. According to reporting from USA Today's coverage of Barron's college calendar, his 18th year was an unusually eventful one, even by the standards of a politically prominent family. It included his high school graduation from Oxbridge Academy. The assassination attempt on his father during the summer of 2024 heightened public attention throughout the presidential campaign, and his father's second inauguration in January 2025. Despite this, Barron himself made relatively few public appearances during that stretch, consistent with the low profile he has maintained for most of his life. In the spring of 2024, reports began circulating that Barron was considering New York University, and Donald Trump later confirmed to the Daily Mail that his son would attend NYU's Stern School of Business, a decision that broke from the family's past pattern of children attending schools like the University of Pennsylvania or Georgetown. Barron began classes at NYU shortly after Labor Day 2024, and photographs of him walking to campus flanked by Secret Service agents quickly went viral, drawing international media attention. He is widely described as the most closely watched current student at the university. In October 2024, during his first semester, Melania Trump gave an update on his adjustment to college life in an appearance on Fox News The 5, saying he was doing well, enjoyed his classes and professors, and was glad to be back in New York City. Barron returned to campus in February 2025 after his father's inauguration, and Fox News reported he was seen on campus in early February wearing a cream sweater and black slacks, with Secret Service personnel nearby, as he began his spring semester as a first-year Stern student. For the fall 2025 semester, reporting from People magazine and the New York Post indicated that Barron did not return to NYU's Manhattan campus as expected. Instead, he was reported to be taking classes through NYU's Washington, D.C. campus while living at the White House with his parents, a detail that would be consistent with keeping him physically closer to family as he entered his sophomore year. Sources cited by People suggested he had been spending time with family members in meetings and exploring technology and business-related projects during this period, though details about the exact nature of that involvement remain limited. He did make a small number of public appearances during the 2025 holiday season, including a visit to Mar-a-Lago for Thanksgiving dinner and again on New Year's Eve, his first public sightings in roughly a year, according to AOL's coverage of his NYU academic calendar. Notably, he did not appear alongside other Trump family members, including his niece Kai Trump at the College Football Playoff National Championship game in Miami in January 2026. By spring 2026, coverage of his NYU experience took on a different tone. A June 2026 report from Yahoo Entertainment, drawing on campus sourcing, described Barron as something of an oddity on campus, a student whose heavy security detail, which reportedly includes a fleet of black SUVs transporting him between Trump Tower and campus through a private entrance, has made an ordinary college social life difficult. That same reporting characterized him as a largely solitary presence at NYU, more shadow than fixture, a dynamic attributed primarily to the scale of the security operation required to protect a sitting president's child rather than to any stated personal preference on Barron's part. One of the most consistently reported details about Barron is his height. He has been measured at around 6 feet 7 inches, making him considerably taller than his father, who is listed at roughly 6 feet 3 inches, and taller than his half-brothers Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. Questions about how tall is Barron Trump reportedly spiked on search engines after he was seen towering over other attendees at his father's second inauguration in January 2025, according to AOL's reporting on his college timeline. Barron's most significant public development since turning 18 has been his entry into business, specifically cryptocurrency. He is listed as a co-founder, alongside his brothers Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., of World Liberty Financial WLFI, a crypto venture launched in 2024. According to Forbes Australia's reporting, Donald Trump has credited his youngest son with deep knowledge of the space, recalling in a September 2024 interview that Barron's a young guy, but he knows it when discussing his familiarity with digital wallets. Financial disclosures reviewed by multiple outlets, including the trading platform Mex's news desk citing Forbes reporting, indicate that Barron holds roughly a 10% stake through an entity called DT Marks DeFi LLC, translating to an estimated 2.25 billion WLFI tokens. By August 2025, World Liberty Financial had reportedly sold around $675 million worth of tokens, with Barron's after-tax profit from the venture estimated at approximately $38 million, pushing his personal net worth to just over $150 million by some estimates, reportedly surpassing his mother's estimated wealth. World Liberty also launched a dollar-pegged stablecoin called $1 in early 2025. It's worth noting that these figures come with significant caveats. A separate MEXC report emphasized that no primary blockchain data or official confirmation has verified the specific ownership or profit figures being circulated, and that much of the reporting relies on secondary sources rather than confirmed disclosures. CoinDesk's most influential 2025 feature similarly characterized the Trump brothers' role in crypto as being built primarily on brand recognition and political proximity rather than on building underlying technology, describing them as functioning more like brand ambassadors than developers. In June 2026, CNBC reported that the broader Trump family was entitled to roughly $500 million from a transaction between World Liberty Financial and a publicly traded company, Alt5 Sigma, though that same reporting noted that outside investors in the deal saw steep losses, raising separate questions about the venture structure. Beyond crypto, Barron has also been linked to a real estate venture. According to a 2025 report, he initially incorporated a company called Trump, Fulcher, and Roxburgh Capital Incorporated in Wyoming in July 2024, alongside two young business partners, high school classmate Cameron Roxburgh and Carter Fulcher, whose family runs a real estate firm in Idaho. That entity was dissolved just months later, reportedly to avoid drawing media attention during the 2024 election cycle. But the same partners were said to be preparing to relaunch the venture in 2025, focused on high-end real estate projects, including golf courses and luxury properties in Utah, Arizona, and Idaho. Roxburgh has said Donald Trump provided informal advice to the group, though the venture reportedly has no direct financial backing from the Trump organization. Compared to the volume of reporting on his business activities, verified details about Barron's personal and social life remain limited, a reflection of both his young age and the unusually tight information environment around him. Classmates from his school years have described him in interviews as polite and down-to-earth. One widely circulated social media account from a former classmate described him as a kind and well-liked figure in school settings, though claims of this kind are personal anecdotes rather than independently confirmed facts, and should be treated with appropriate caution. His parents have offered occasional public comments on his personality and interests over the years. Melania Trump has described him as resembling his father closely enough that she nicknamed him Little Donald, and has spoken about the importance of preserving one-on-one time between father and son despite the demands of public life. Donald Trump has said publicly that he would support Barron pursuing any path he chooses, whether in sports, business, or elsewhere, reflecting what's been characterized as an encouraging but non-prescriptive approach to his son's future. What's most notable about the verifiable record of Barron Trump's life since turning 18 is how much of it remains undocumented by design. Unlike many public figures his age, he has not given extended personal interviews, has not maintained a visible public social media presence, and has made only a small handful of confirmed public appearances outside of academic and family settings. The picture that emerges from credible reporting: NYU enrollment, a large security footprint, a fast-growing but scrutinized business portfolio, and a small number of holiday appearances, is one of a young man navigating early adulthood under extraordinary scrutiny, largely on his own terms and mostly out of view. As of mid-2026, there is no verified public statement from Barron Trump confirming or denying the various narratives that have circulated about his personal life, his social experience at NYU, or his long-term plans. Any account suggesting otherwise should be treated with skepticism unless it can be traced to a direct, on-the-record statement from Barron himself or a verified representative of his family.